just remembered that photo Sheena found inside of World's Odyssey. Tokiwa had mentioned something about how the park was a hotspot for bloggers to post about their scary experiences there. I think it was called Yamabushi Park. Maybe I can pull up some information about it online. Huh? Why are there no search results? That's weird. I mean, it's been featured on reality TV, so I know I'm not making things up. Oh, no hits. Freaky. Wait, this park is a few blocks away from the office. I might as well check it out for myself. So, this is the rumored haunted spot, huh? Yep, the slide matches the photo. There should be a shadow just behind here. Just as I thought, nothing. Maybe I should go home.
Oh, did you come here to take pictures too? Ugh! Sorry, did I sneak up on you? My bad. I'm Anjo. I'm a barista at the cafe across the street. You heard of it? It's called the Night Owl.
Cafe? Hi, I'm Mizunashi. Sorry for screaming.
Please, it was my fault for startling you. It seems like lately, there have been swarms of people trying to take pictures of the park. I just figured you might be a horror junkie like me.
Oh, well, you see, I actually was interested in taking photos of the haunted park.
I see. Are you an artist or something, Mizunashi?
Oh, not an artist. I do work in a creative field, though. I'm a video game programmer.
Video games? That's amazing! I'd be happy to help you in any way I can.
That'd be great. I was looking up some info about this park online, but would you believe it? I can't pull up a single search. I swear I couldn't avoid reading posts online about this park at the beginning of the year, but now, poof, nothing.
So you've noticed too.
Huh?
There's a global shift occurring, my friend. One that is being carefully orchestrated in our corner of the world. Only the chosen few are granted the chance to witness it unfold. You're a lucky man, Mizunashi. The online occult communities have been buzzing about this phenomenon since forever. But all of a sudden, every article, blog post, or photograph related to it vanished. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's true. According to some rumors floating around, all online search engines began censoring any results related to this unknown shift. Those words were later referred to as the truth fragments. Only those in possession of them know how the world really works. Supposedly, the human brain can't even process this information without entering catatonic shock. There's some fishy stuff going on. Honestly, we're probably better off not knowing what goes on behind the curtain of this world. No one person should be burdened with that. Consider that Yamabushi Park is one of the truth fragments in question. Now, my friend, you too know the truth.
Your face is a little close to mine.
Oh, pardon me. Listen here. Be careful not to stick your nose where it doesn't belong, okay? These truths are hidden, and people want to keep it that way.
Okay, I'll be careful.
Kidding.
Huh?
I scared you pretty good back there, didn't I? I was just messing around. Sorry about that. I, myself, love a good conspiracy theory. Anything to get the old noggin working. How crazy would it be if ghosts really existed, right? You see, we horror junkies can't get enough of cryptids and conspiracies, especially when given the opportunity to give fresh faces like you a real good scaring.
I'll pass on the scary stories for now. So, is there any chance you could tell me more about the slide?
I'd hate to be the one who spoils the surprise for you, but I guess I owe you for pulling your chain earlier. Would you mind letting me borrow your phone?
Sure.
What do you make of this?
Hey, that's it. That's the angle. It looks just like the photos I've seen of this place.
Cool, right? Then you just push the shutter button and ta-da! One haunted photo coming up.
I don't believe it. I could have sworn that really was someone's shadow underneath the slide.
Right? You see, the trick is... Boom, right there. Getting this small rock in the shot. From this angle, it looks like any old park. But if you lean this way and get the lighting just right, then ta-da! Doesn't it look like someone's standing right behind the slide?
Are you for real? Wow, that's exactly it.
Once you know how the sausage is made, it's a bit like, really? Still neat though, right? The only thing mysterious about this is the question of when this rock was placed here. I don't think this park originally had it. I don't know if it was unlawfully dumped or if someone put it here after the fact. Maybe, though, a UFO dropped it off here. If you ever want the scoop on more stories like these, then go ahead and pay me a visit at the cafe. Have a nice day!
Well, that was informative. But I still have zero clue why that photo would have appeared in World's Odyssey. Nor am I any closer to finding Sheena's body. The untrained eye can see the ghost. The trained eye knows how it appears. I can't believe that the ghost was just a rock this whole time. Huh? What's this? That Anjo fella didn't seem to notice, but, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a picture for reference. Huh? Holy smokes! There's a string of text engraved in the rock. It looks just like the sections of code that I see in the bug text for World's Odyssey. Would you look at that? What the hell? It's written to the T. Before, I couldn't do anything to alter the bug text directly. If I replace that text line with this code, what'll happen? What the? It disappeared! It can't be. The entire bug text just corrected itself.
Yes, that's right.
Mizunaki, can you hear me? Are you okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was distracted. Oh, Sheena, I just had a massive breakthrough. I was able to debug a line of code that I thought wasn't fixable before.
Really?
This should come in handy for you later.
Mizunaki, thank you.
What's gotten into you?
Whoa! What the? What was that?
And welcome back to part 5 of Death End Request, where today we're going to carry on pushing towards the throne room to try and find out what happened to the king, even though we kind of got a good theory. But for Lily's sanity, I suppose, we need to check and make sure that he's going to be alright, if he is going to be alright. which she probably won't. And I'll discuss what happened in that story beat in a minute, because we're going to have another story beat happen right that second with this key item over here. This looks like a diary, but the binding is unlike anything I've seen. 2017 to 2019. Ooh, this is about to get dated in a few months. Huh? It can't be. How did this get here? Is something wrong? Take a look at the cover. Diary 2017. Wait a second. It says Anno Domini, right? Yeah. Lily, what's the current year? The year is 206 Heartis era AD. What's going on? If there's something peculiar about this diary, would you mind filling me in as well? Well, this diary is something that should never have been here in the first place. Wait, Sheena, I don't know if it's a good idea to tell her about the real world. She may be an NPC, but there's no telling what her AI could do under the influence of the Alice engine. It's too risky. Worst case scenario, disrupting a sequence could allow us to clear the game, but it might not trigger the ending engage. Okay, guess I'll try and think of something. Well, Lily, in the same way that the photo we saw earlier was something that could only be found where I was born, this diary is too. I see. Wherever you are from, it sounds like an advanced civilization. Yeah, but normally my people are very secretive, so it's rare that we find technological artifacts outside of our border, which is why I was bewildered to find this diary left on the floor like this. Anyway, we'll have to drop the subject for now. Our priority is reaching the king, so let's go. But as we're heading over there, because we're on the second half of the run of this dungeon, we will be returning to this dungeon later on, but whilst we're exploring, talking about that plot thread that we just had to open up the first 10 minutes of this video, with Anjo showing us around the park and showing us the ghost photo, and then finding that trail of code. There's a pattern with that we're going to start finding. Every time you find a reality object in the world Odyssey, it will give Arata the ability to find new information on his side that will lead to a piece of code that will open up new pathways in the Odyssey. Like those white blocks that you're seeing, they begin to vanish the more of Arata's story you do. But you can only do Arata's story by finding these objects as Sheena, and Sheena can't advance past these blocks until Arata's done his bit. So that's where the back and forth, forcing you to keep up with both stories is. Like for this instance, we can't actually go to Arata's side of the story and do his bit until we've advanced a little further with Sheena, even though we've now got the diary. We need to actually hit the first main wall so the game can introduce us to the idea of, well, you need to swap to Arata to be able to progress. But at the end there, you notice that something was thrown through his window as a warning. People are aware of what Arata is trying to do. Who they are, well, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But that's kind of probably the main tension of Arata's story. On your first playthrough, you're not really sure who's gonna make it, who's gonna survive. Like, it's part of the charm of this whole game. Like, no one, I'm gonna make that very clear now, no one is safe in this game in terms of could be killed off. Sheena can be killed off, Lily can be killed off, Arata can be killed off. Everyone can absolutely die in this game, and it be a permanent death outside of the normal death endings. Which is why I'll be actively avoiding the bad ending by doing every single side quest, but that's besides the point. We do have a new enemy in here, which is the green variants of these weird floating guys. But yeah, like, because you don't know who's going to live and who's going to die, it makes Arata's side of the story in particular really like not like a horror haunting, but haunting. Like, I wouldn't say this is anything close to a horror game, despite some of its moments, but it is definitely haunting in areas with what story it's trying to tell and how grim the circumstances can be. I know I'm not really explaining it that well, but if you've ever played a game like this, you know what I mean. It's not a horror, but there's horror elements. Which is why I have that warning at the start of each video saying, hey, this game's pretty graphic in places. It won't be every single part that the graphic stuff will happen, but it does happen frequent enough that I'll just put the warning at the start of every video. Because we do have some more death ends to show in this part that we'll get to in a bit after we open all these doors up here. Because now they're all unlocked, or can be unlocked, to loot them out. Also, you might have noticed in one of those previous fights, I went to use the shooter mechanic, and despite aiming straight at the enemy, it missed. It's because the hitboxes for the enemy is in the same spot on every single enemy, regardless of whether they're flying in the ground or whatever. It's always in the same spot, so just aim straight along to where their health bar is, not where they are, because otherwise you'll see what you saw there, where I just straight up missed. But as we go through this room, there are some treasures in here, but they're nothing special, so I don't bother getting them for this second. I think I end up getting them off screen. But as you progress upwards and open the door, you'll realise you can't. This is where my father... this is where the king is. Let's go inside. Ah. What is this? There's a faint blue letter spelled out. Is this some kind of force field? Mr. Enigma! These letters. We can't proceed through here. There must be some kind of bug. I don't recall generating a player beyond this point. He said bug again. I'll have to check the source code. If I can find out what the error is, then I should be able to pass through without a problem. And there's your hint saying Sheena can only go so far without Arata, and Arata can only go so far without Sheena, because now we have the ability to go and check out Arata's side of the story. Oh, I fell asleep again. Good thing I set an alarm. I wonder, is she doing alright? Why don't I check in? Sheena, I got some news for you. Mizunashii. I've been doing some more digging about whether or not it would be more efficient to find your body, or if we have to proceed to the ending engage. I have faith in you, Mizunashii. Sure thing. So, how are you holding up? Everything's good on my end. My skirt feels a bit loose, but that's about it. Sheena was on screen, and she grabbed the edge of her skirt and began swaying. You know. What is it? Why don't you show me something? What? You discovered something out of place in the game, didn't you? The diary from 2017. I want to take a look inside of it. Same goes for the haunted photo at the park. I've been trying to put two and two together, but some eerie stuff is happening on this side. I thought I'd look into the diary as well, but hey, are you listening? Mizunashii, would you mind not trying to give me a heart attack over here? What's gotten you so upset? You asked me to see the diary, right? Well, then go ahead! For some reason, a gentle blush appeared on Sheena's cheek when she pouted as she held the diary open for me. Thanks, I'll hang up for now. Just keep the good work in there. Got it. I wonder why she felt so pouty. Oh well. That's because she was swaying her skirt and you were saying, show me something. Idiot. Anyway, there's this diary. I began looking through the pages of the diary, reading the handwritten text as I normally would. But as I flipped through the diary, its contents were becoming more and more unusual. To me, it looks like the work of someone suffering a psychotic breakdown. They're coming. They're coming. The window's broken, there's no light. I've been holding my breath. How did it know I was here? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's... Come. Come. Don't open the door, don't open the door. Please. Don't open it. Don't open it. I'll kill you. Tokyo, Sagama City, Takika Town, 239, Sakaki Apartment 204, Shuzo Kitamura. These scribbles are weird as hell. Wait, there's something scribbled in the end here, in the address. Is this a real apartment? The journal that had been seemingly generated inside a world's odyssey had an address written from our world, so I looked it up. To my surprise, it was real. The address's location was approximately 10 minutes away from my apartment by bus. The rush of adrenaline made me sick to my stomach, but the picture of the park came to mind. There was no telling what I would find, but it brought me closer to solving what was going on. I have to make the trip. This is the building, Sakaki Apartments. From the outside it looked no younger than 60 years old, and I was afraid that it would collapse before I could take a look around. Room 204, right? Didn't seem like anyone was still lived here, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to knock. Behind the front gate was a small courtyard leading to the apartment's main entrance. The door was decorated with 6 heavy glass window panes and an old wooden handle in the centre of it. I tried grabbing the handle. Oh, it won't open. Locked from the outside. I guess no one's home. Can I help you, young man? Oh, sorry, do you live here? Yes, I'm the landlord here, or I used to be. I plan on demolishing the building sometime soon, since no one lives in these apartments anymore. I see. Well, I dropped by today because I was hoping to scout out the building. Oh, you too? Are you a manga artist or a porter or something? I don't want to be rude, but I guess it is what it is lately. We've had a lot of visitors looking to document other people's misfortunes. But since I plan on demolishing it anyway, it probably doesn't matter. Misfortunes? Did something happen here? Oh, I thought you came because you knew. Knew what? Oh, my apologies, sorry about that. No, I don't mind. Sadly, the other day there was a murder. A murder? Yes, once the body was discovered, the police force-taped everything off, and then it came to flood of reporters. It was all over the news. Worst of all, this wasn't the killer's only stop. It sounds like there were other victims in some of the nearby apartments. A breaking and entering situation. Guy was a serial killer. However, since this place was pretty run down and people were moving out left and right anyway, the victim was one of the last tenants here. It was the straw that broke the camel's back for my building. No one's going to want to move in here. Word gets around pretty quick, you know. With that said, I've decided to sell the land. If you want to snoop around, then you've got 10 minutes. If it's too dark, feel free to switch any of the lights on. Thank you, you're very kind. No problem at all, the building's getting torn down next month anyway. Here's the memory, gone in a flash. I gotta hit the bank, so I'll be on my way. Feel free to check the place out. Oh, and one last thing, when you're done, do me a favour and lock the doors. You don't have to wait for me to return. Oh, sure thing, thanks again. The landlord curled her lips into a weak smile and left without another word. I'd assumed that the previous tenant's belongings had been cleaned from the room, so there was no threat of theft or whatnot. I managed to pry the poorly designed doors open and walked into the stale, musty hallway. Smell of the arid decay filled the dark room. I covered my nose and I turned on the light. Don't know why he's talking to himself. 204. The room must be on the second floor, right? I travelled up the staircase, each step creaking underneath my feet. A disclosed, faded placard was located at the centre of the door. 204. This was supposedly the room where Shuzuki Tamamura had lived, at least according to the diary. Even with prior approval, I felt somewhat guilty for entering someone's old home. I wiped the sweat off my brow and shouted out despite not expecting anyone to answer back. Excuse me! Paper blinds were taped over the windows, leaving the room dim and vacant. The air was stagnant, eliciting a wrench from me before I could cover my nose from my sleeve. There was a prevailing sense of mildew on the account of the leaking in the ceiling. My face and hands felt sticky from the humidity, which only made me more uncomfortable. Whew. Well, I was expecting a pool of blood when I turned the lights on, so that's a relief. Like I expected, all the previous tenants' furniture had been cleared from the inside of the apartment. It was eerily empty. Welcome back. Huh? Did I just hear a voice, or was it someone outside? Huh? A sudden chill crawled down my spine. I thought for a second that I picked up on a brief whiff of blood inside of this static, lukewarm room. Stale room, lukewarm room even. It's got the creeps and you take a photo and hightail it out of here. Huh? What happened? Ah, the lights! And then we were in darkness. I turned on my phone's flashlight and tried flickering the light back on. However, no matter how many times I jolted the switch, the light would not turn back on. The light went out. It was just on a second ago. Wait a sec, is it? Despite my panic, I somehow managed to pull up the screenshots I had taken of the diary and double-checked what was written. They're coming. They're coming. The window's broken. There's no light. Been holding my breath. How did it know that I was here? It's coming. It's coming. Coming. It's coming. It's... Something was walking down the hallway. If it's the owner of this diary, Kitamura was onto something. Save before you make this decision. We are approaching another death ending, so save your game right there before deciding if it could be paranormal. I can't run away from this. I forced off any doubts echoing in my mind and reached out towards the shadow. In the next moment, I saw it. I became the shadow-like thing, and in its turn, it became me, smiling as it left the apartment. There is no one who could save me from this fate. And there's your death ending! Arata gets possessed with some creepy ghost thing, and the creepy ghost just carries on of its day. So yeah, don't pick that. Pick run for it. Run like a coward out of there from the creepy ghost. You'll be killed, you'll be killed, you'll be killed, you'll be killed. Where is that voice coming from? Ah! I told you this game's got some horror vibes about it. Even though it's not a horror. I heard it, I know I did. I heard a voice in there. I jumped out of the room, sprinting down the hallway and tripping with nearly every step. Shit, this is no good. Oh, done so soon? Oh, yes, excuse me. Without a doubt in my mind, I saw it. When I jumped out of the room, I saw it lurking in the corner. A human-shaped shadow, like a black mist hunching over, glaring back at me. And now Arata just had the fright of his goddamn life. Let's go home. I ran back home and immediately sat at my computer. I tried looking up any article related to the murders at the Sakaki apartments, but it was just the photo of Yamabushi Park. What the hell's that? However, it wasn't until afterwards that I had been confronted with something even more terrifying. When I looked back at the photos that I had quickly snapped, I found another mysterious string of letters. It has to be related to whatever had been occurring inside the World's Odyssey, right? The two worlds were now bleeding into one another, a tangled web of insanity that was engulfing every aspect of my life. Its tendrils were spreading, infiltrating my reality to an extent that I couldn't control. How spooky. Arata's story is probably the more interesting one for me, even if it is 100% cutscenes and picking a different spot on the map. It is 100% visual novel on Arata's side. The actual being able to explore and fight things is only on Sheena's side. But now we've done that, when you interact with the door, it will actually open because we've got that line of code. So when you're ready, open the door. I see, I can see. Gods, no, that's not it. Might as well ask my sheep to do it for me. But not a single one will march onto the Ark. Huh? Father? It seems like the king is still struggling with his sanity. Father! Oh no, Lily, wait! Don't move. I know it's very tempting to move to that flag right in front of you, but if you decide to leave, also save before you do this, if you decide to leave, you can get access to another death ending, which is more than just a couple lines of text. This is one of the more graphic ones.
What are you doing? Go after Lily!
Okay. The door! No! Lily! Lily! Please let me in! Lily!
Seriously?
Begone, foul devil! Child of sin and discord! I shall banish you to the depths of hell and strike you down with my iron hammer! Repent for your sins against the divine! I shall pray for your soul! Soldiers, show this sinner no mercy! Heavens, grant us the strength to punish those who defy you! Submit to the Lord's will!
No more! Please! Have mercy! Lily! Lily! Open the door! Please!
The devil must be killed 3 times for its soul to perish for eternity!
The door's opening! Lily!
Sheena, don't look!
Submit to the Lord's will! Stab her! Stab her! Only with a body cleansed by our blades will she enter the gates of heaven!
Lily! Lily! You've lost your minds! You monsters! How could you do such a thing?
Who dares interrupt our ceremony?
Crap! Sheena, get out of there! The palace is done for!
The door's closing!
What?
Execute her! Slice into her bowels and rip out her entrails for all to see!
Sheena, run!
The kingdom is dead. Our soldiers dead. Your so-called subjects dead. The land once fertile and brimming with life, withered to nothingness. Die! 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 Die!
The very first time I saw Lily's crucifixion, it sent shivers down my spine. Like, I can give you an idea of how my reaction was. It was 3 words, started with Jesus, ended in Christ. You can work out what the middle one was. But, that really sat poorly with me when I saw it. I was just like, Jesus. I was like, oh my god. It's so graphic and brutal that they censored it with the numbers. And it's like, for such a character that I already was starting to enjoy, for them to just do that, I was just like, oh god. So yeah, don't, if you care about Lily, maybe don't do that. But if you just care about getting the extras for getting all the death endings, then yeah, sure, ditch her. How are you alive, huh? This kingdom is dead, our soldiers dead, your so-called subjects dead, the land, once fertile and brimming with life, withered to nothingness. You are the one who murdered my wife. Off with your head. Huh? Is that the king? We were too late. The king's mind has deteriorated beyond recognition. His body simply followed suit. No, there can't be. For father. Ah! 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 No! I love this track. Just what the hell is that thing? Lily, get back! Lily, snap out of it! What am I to do? It's trying to eat the king! Father! No! Let me go, Sheena! Father! Father! You can't get too close to him! I know it's hard, but the king is no longer... Lily, is that you, my child? My sight has been stripped from me. I've become hard of hearing. Father, are you still in there? Is it really you? Your heart brims with love. I believe that you could have never murdered the queen. I always knew, but my will is being manipulated by larger, more sinister forces. You must forgive me, my child. I am truly sorry. Father! War accomplishes nothing. It is a virus that consumes you, that strangles your wayward heart until it is too late. Once the evil takes hold of you, the crown will lose its power, the kingdom will sink beneath the crown, and our future will fade into darkness. Lily, gazing upon your gentle face makes my heart swell for the last time. I have wanted to apologize for so long. Father, take care of this kingdom and of its people. Lead them into a better tomorrow. Do not make the same mistakes as me. My beloved daughter. Father! No! Father! Father! Huh? Also, how could the king, like, at the end say, he said that he saw Lily, but I thought you said, like, a few minutes ago that he was blinded. I'll avenge you, Father! What the hell was that? I've never seen anything like it. Me neither. This has to be the work of some third-party hacker, or maybe that monster is the result of some kind of bug mutation. God damn it, it's bigger than any other Entoma we've seen thus far. Maybe Entoma Queen would be a more apt name for it, no? Huh? Why Queen? Well, she's enormous. I'd liken her to a queen bee, or perhaps an ant queen. Let's destroy it. Huh? Lily? Major boss time. The first one. This one is an Entoma Queen. And it's a centipede-like monster.
Victory is all but assured. Leave it to me.
And there is a death ending for losing this fight as well. So, keep that in mind. But for the sake of being in the moment, I decided to record us actually winning the first time, not us losing the first time. This boss fight isn't too bad because you're still learning the game. This is still chapter 1. It's the boss of chapter 1, so it's the test to see if you've learned anything throughout the game. And the curse marks around it are pretty forgiving, like they're not too painful for how much glitch they will start to give you, so you can get access to your glitch forms pretty quickly. Which I've been wanting to mention for a while and talk about. I don't like the designs of the glitch forms. All of them I'm not a big fan of. Like, there's some that are less painful than others, but all of them I feel like were too much. Like, they wanted each character's design to be representative of the buggy attached to them. So with Lily's being a bee, she gets the honeycomb aesthetic around her. Sheena's being the spider, it's the spider's silk covering her, etc, etc. It's just, you'll see it more and more as we go between each character. But I felt like they could have done a lot more with it. Not just in terms of being creative with it, but in terms of, you know, actually giving them more. Because, oh my god, they're all butt naked. Let's not beat around the bush here. Like, it's not like, say, with Neptunia, where they still look powerful, but they've just tried to make them a bit sexier kind of thing, but they're still godly powerful. In this, they just, like, in how little health, how little can we show and get away with it? And it feels needless to me. And when it's needless sexualization, I will always stand against it. If you can justify it or make it work, it'll never bug me, regardless of if it's a male or female character, regardless of the circumstance. If you can make it work, make it believable, or make it make sense, go for it. This doesn't. Also, the boss died from poison. Sheena learnt a new attack during that, and it poisoned it. It's just made it kill itself. But they went overly sexual, so I'm glad from the screenshots we've seen, they are numbing that down. But this is what the death ending looks like if you happen to die to this fight. The centipede-like creature toyed with us as we writhed on the floor, unable to move from the verge of death. It nudged us playfully, rolling us on the ground over and over until it severed our limbs, squished from the right, separating from our limp bodies. I'd already been decapitated from the neck down, but I heard Mizunashi's voice calling out to me from the distance. I drifted into a weary daze. That was more unsettling to think about, because you don't see anything, it's just the fact that she gets decapitated. But anyway, that boss fight's over, so I'll save my thoughts for the other side of this cutscene, because they're going to be talking through it.
Somehow. Look, there's something floating. It looks like a light.
It doesn't seem to resemble the parasites that we found in the past. Would you mind grabbing it for me?
Just a moment. Huh? What are you doing?
No, wait, Buggy! Don't just scarf it down! Stop! Oh, man. Damn thing must have been starving. Sheena? What's the matter? Snap out of it! Sheena!
Sheena! Who is that? Sheena! Mr. Enigma? Lily? Are you alright, Sheena? Can you move at all? Are you hurt? How many fingers am I holding up? Mr. Enigma, you don't really have any fingers, but I don't think I'm injured at all. I see. Man, don't scare me like that. You really freaked me out back there. I'm sorry for worrying you, huh? I was dreaming. Dreaming? Just now? Everything went black, then I was all alone. I dreamt I was stuck by myself in some sad place, hugged a tiny ball of light. Sad place? Can you be more specific? I don't know anything else, it's just how it felt. Does the place seem familiar to you at all? No, but I couldn't help but feel nostalgic nonetheless. I see, sadness and nostalgia. My guess is that your lost memories are returning to you in fragments, slowly but surely coming together. Sheena, I'm so glad you're alright. Hey, Lily, right back at you. How are you so noble and brave? Your father couldn't be saved. Yes, he... I'm not gonna voice that line. I'm not taking from this moment. Lily, give her a hug. I feel for Lily. Letting it out, let it cry. Let what needs to be released. It's the healthiest thing you can do.
Lily, are you holding up okay? Yes. Please excuse me for losing myself. You don't have to bottle up your emotions. Crying when you're in pain is perfectly normal. In fact, you're welcome to lean on my shoulder whenever you need it. Thank you so much.
princess!
Chief Knight Gilsura? You've brought the others, too. Were you alive this whole time?
Yes, milady. By the time we had arrived from our expedition, the palace was lost in a state of turmoil. Although we were able to get to the king's chamber, it was horrific in there. Forgive me, milady. Where is His Majesty?
Allow me to explain.
And who might you be?
Let's just say that I'm a friend of the princess, who helped her dispose of the monsters inside of the castle.
Oh, then you have my thanks for aiding the princess.
Oh, well, I'm just relieved that it doesn't seem like you're about to whisk her away back to prison.
Don't remind me.
I'm happy to hear she still has allies. Let's cut to the chase. The king and all his guards were murdered by a swarm of martyrs in Entoma flooding the castle.
What? Is that true?
Yes, it is.
This must be some sick joke. How am I supposed to take some charlatan dressed in a bear costume seriously? He's playing a trick on us.
That's right! How dare you claim that His Majesty is dead? Calm yourselves, men. Hold your tongues.
But I...
Princess, does this bear speak the truth?
Yes. I was present when my father passed away.
Very well.
Okay, let's discuss what should be done next. Lily, what is it that you want to do?
I wish to carry out my father's will and rebuild this kingdom for the good of my people. Before I can do so, however, we must rid our world of the Entoma. What occurred here can never happen again. More importantly, we must discover what became of the other survivors from the attack 1 year ago. I feel so powerless, though. I have no faith in myself to defeat the martyrs or the Entoma on my own. So, I must ask a favor of you all. You are journeying to find a way to destroy the Entoma once and for all, right? Would you mind if I joined you on your journey?
Not at all.
Of course you can. In fact, I thought you'd never ask. Oh, but if you're the queen now, then wouldn't the kingdom need you, Lily? Gilsura,
Leave everything to me. We shall await your safe return patiently, Your Majesty.
I appreciate your understanding. I promise that I won't return without a solution to deal with the Entoma for our people.
Good luck out there, milady. We'll be on our way now. Man, that guy was intimidating. Talk about convincing character design.
They're gone. Yes, the kingdom is in good hands. There are many citizens whom I trust to lead our people, who have withstood the madness of the Entoma. Got it. In that case, Lily, let's get out of here. Okay. Oh, Lily, you're such a sweetheart. There. Oh, what's gotten into me? I'm sorry. You have nothing to apologize for. Being your shoulder to cry on makes me smile. We can do it anytime you want. Do what anytime I want? How forward of you.
Lily, don't pretend that's not exactly what you want.
We should head out soon, yeah? I don't want to interrupt another lovey-dovey moment, but there's still a lot we need to cover.
Lovey-dovey? I'm so sorry. Huh?
Okay, so we're currently heading for the mystical sky capital, Odyssea.
Odyssea? I thought the mystical sky capital only existed in legends. The land nestled above the clouds, yes? Does such a place really exist? Of course it does. This might sound like hearsay, but there are plenty of records about people who had reached it in the past. According to folklore, the gates to Odyssea will only open for whomever can defeat Heaven's messenger. For now, our best shot at removing the Entoma would be to purge the martyrs and the rest of the bugs from this world. Still, we might not have time to remove each and every bug we find. If there really is someone there in Odyssea, then maybe we could convince them to reverse the Entoma. But Heaven's messenger was the beast responsible for the Entoma scourge, right? How do any of us stand a chance at defeating it? About that, if God himself spawned this beast, then it could just as easily be resurrected. Either way, dead or not, Finding it might be the only chance to enter Odyssea. We need to do whatever it takes to get in. That's so cool! Huh? You've lit a fire inside of me. I can't live in fear of Heaven's Messenger if you're by my side. You're amazing, Sheena! She's squeezing my hand. Lily seems awfully determined.
It's settled then. Sheena, do you know the shortest route to Odyssea?
Oh, I know! In order to reach Odyssea, we'll have to access the terminal. First, we need to reach Rosaria Forest, where the elves live. Rosaria Forest is just beyond Hardis's neighbor, Sturful.
Alright, let's start there. Time to make our move, everyone.
Yes! Sheena? Are you a master adventurer? Oh, not at all. I'm kind of a beginner, actually. Then how do you know the path to reach Odyssea? Well, because I create...
Sheena!
What? Oh, I meant I studied a lot of books detailing Odyssea's history. I see. You've developed a passion for traveling that stems from a healthy thirst for knowledge. It seems I've got a lot of reading to do. That was a close one. Thank you, Mizunashi.
Jeez, think before you speak next time, okay?
I'm sorry. Mizunashi. About Heaven's Messenger. We never programmed any monster capable of doing catastrophic damage like that in World's Odyssey.
Wait, do you mean to suggest that Heaven's Messenger has been corrupted by bugs too?
Not corrupted by the bugs, but maybe it was the catalyst for where the rest of the bugs are coming from. I mean, none of the strange happenings occurred until after Heaven's Messenger ripped the sky open.
Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. For now, we'll have to progress through the game normally and reach Odyssea once we've dealt with Heaven's Messenger.
Roger.
Lily's crush on Sheena continues to be my favourite thing in this game. Genuinely, the way Lily is with Sheena just makes me smile. In this, how dark this game gets in a lot of places, as you've probably already noticed, to have this adorable crush, like this really innocent, childish schoolgirl crush between the two of them, it's adorable. I love it. I have to take care of something, but I'll return later. Just so we're clear, don't become lazy and let bugs ambush you while I'm gone, got it? Hey! He left. Where does he get off? Sometimes Mr. Enigma is such a jerk. But I think he's just trying to warn us, no? Even so, he could have been a little nicer about it. On top of that, he completely cut me off and disappeared before I can get a word in. Talk about rude. I wonder if he hates me. He doesn't look like that to me. From my perspective, the two of you seem really close most of the time. Enigma's always looking out for you, Sheena. I can tell you care a lot about him too. No. You can't just ship two people together without any development. That's bad writing. Huh? Bad writing? What? Oh, I'm sorry. Generally speaking, a writer is a storyteller. Maybe calling them a bard would be more appropriate. In other words, a writer is in charge of the show. Got it. That's right. That's besides the point for now, though. Come on, we need to make progress to show Mr. Enigma. You're right. Another close call. Lily might be an NPC, but I'm starting to think she might be too clever for me. Also, Sheena, you cannot stop people from shipping people together just because you say so. Yeah, it is bad writing, but you know what's good writing? Lily and Sheena being shipped together. So let it happen, I say. That's probably the biggest hardship that anyone playing this has to face it eventually. The fact that Sheena and Lily never actually get together in this game. I gotta rip that off right now. I know it's a spoiler, but I gotta warn you right now, they never actually get together, and that breaks my heart because they so deserve to be. And on that bombshell, next time on Death End Request, we're going to start travelling towards Odyssea with our small team of two in hand. But until then, you guys take care now.